Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 45 of Punching Up, Last Stand Media's weekly, that's right, weekly Nintendo podcast. I am your host, Brad Ellis, as always, and joining me, my lovely co-hosts. First, we got Mr. Gene Park. Gene, how are you, my friend?
Good. Getting over a sickness, a bad cough that I've had for a while, for some reason. So if my voice sounds weird or if I just cough suddenly, I apologize. But that's ringing in the new year for me, 2025.
Dude, I'm in the same boat as you, Gene. Everyone got sick. Yeah. Oh yeah. So many people got sick over the holiday break.
Dude.
So yeah.
It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all a little. Mike is completely fine though. She dodged the bullet so far. But
yeah,
I was
because
kids.
Colin and Micah live an isolated lifestyle.
True. True. Like they're a little
Colin never sees anyone, so the only point of infection is Micah, you know.
I mean, basically, right? We did go to brunch on New Year's Day. But yeah, otherwise we spent most of our holiday break secluded, gaming away. And yeah, I'm seeing everyone tweeting that they're ill. I sent you guys my best wishes. But I was like, nope, not leaving my house.
Yeah.
that was a smart idea. That was a smart idea. Yeah.
Yes, and of course, Micah Moriarty joining us. Micah, where'd you go to brunch?
Oh, so there's this great local restaurant called Chard. They have multiple locations. And like
Chard?
Chard.
Oh, Chard.
Chard.
Yeah. And like their big thing is they have like a wood-fired pizza oven. It's really good pizza. But then they also do like pasta. They do great burgers. Like they have a burger night. And so they have multiple locations in Virginia. And it's one of our favorite spots to go to. And they do a weekend brunch. And then they did a special New Year's Day brunch. So it was pretty cool to go to brunch on like a Wednesday, you know?
Yeah. Wait, what did you eat when you went to brunch though?
This time I just got waffles and sausage links. I have previously gotten like the French toast. They do this really great brioche French toast with like this blueberry, like this like warm blueberry compote on top. It's so good. They have great chicken and waffles. I mean, they have everything you can want.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Wow. I'm jealous.
Oh yeah. Breakfast food is my favorite.
Yeah, pizza and sausage links. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's a weird combo. Well, I guess pizza and sausage is kind of common. Whatever. Let's see here. We got a couple of warm-up questions, though, before we get in. A lot of leaks going on right now in the world of Nintendo. We're all just waiting for Nintendo to pull the trigger and finally announce that Switch 2. But we'll get into that in a bit. First, we got to write in from David. Yes, it's David, not David. I double-checked. Hey, Punching Uppers. In which Zelda game world would you like to live in the most as an NPC? Mine will definitely be the Minish Cap, since it's the least messed up by the main characters. Can't wait to hear the episode. Dive in. All right, Micah, let's start with you, since you're fresh on the Zelda train right now. What Zelda world would you want to live in?
Honestly, Minish Cap might be the right choice because played Ocarina of Time right before this one, and Hyrule gets pretty fucked. Okay, like that ain't a good place to be. I mean, the little forest people, they were okay. It'd be fine if you were one of them, right? I mean, they were fine in their little hovels, but
the tree died though. The Great Deku Tree got taken out immediately.
It did, but they otherwise seemed okay, you know. But yeah, the Minish Cap really, it is funny. Like everything's happening behind the scenes, but the townspeople are just bebopping around. You can go play games. Like it's just like, yeah, this world seems fine. So I think the Minish Cap would be my choice as well. Maybe also Link's Awakening. Those people seemed fine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm doing a bunch of stuff trying to get off this fucking island, but they're all just singing songs with, wild animals and having a great time.
That's true. Fair point. Okay, Gene, what about you? What Zelda world would you want to live in?
It's a fun question. It's interesting because Zelda games don't have like a lot of towns, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple. So I'm trying to think about the best town, and I'm probably thinking Link to the Past, Hyrule. That layout, that's probably the layout that I'm most familiar with. I feel like Breath of the Wild would be awful. Um, Such long distances, empty fields, you know.
Lots of towns, though.
Yeah, but the towns are kind of empty, right? I mean, Kakariko and
They're all
Hateno
empty in
are
every
pretty
Zelda
cool.
game. They're all pretty empty, except
They're all
Castle
pretty empty.
Town.
But yeah, but I feel like Link to the Past Hyrule is probably. I mean, like obviously, like per scale, you know, like Kakariko was like what 4 houses, you know.
Yeah.
But the game feels like lively, and you know, like it's the world that I'm most familiar with. So like I feel like I would actually navigate the Zelda Link to the Past Hyrule much better. To me, it's like the Spencer Mansion of Hyrule. You know, it's the one that I'm most familiar with. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. This is tough for me because it depends. Like, do the events of the game happen to you when you're in this world?
That
Because
was my assumption. Like, it seems like you wouldn't want to be in Majora's Mask world, right?
yeah, it's like Twilight Princess, bustling castle town, like the most bustling town ever in a Zelda game. Lots of different cities, really cool stuff, but the Twilight Realm happens and everyone gets turned into like weird ghost things. So I don't really want that to happen to me. So I don't know about that. Wind Waker, though, also really cool. A lot of tiny islands, though, but sailing around would be pretty fun. I don't know. It's scary because Ganondorf's just chilling in the Forsaken Fortress in Wind Waker. So I'd be terrified of him just doing something. Maybe, I mean, Mike would be thrilled if he
That's,
did something.
I didn't consider that. I didn't consider this. Wind Waker would be the correct choice because that's where Wind Waker Ganon lives.
Yeah,
so
you could
changed
go
my
to
answer.
support. Yeah. We're
going out to brunch, Ganon and I.
Yeah, I'm going to Twilight Princess, dude. Forget it. Castle Town is too awesome in that game.
Castle Town is really good at the game for sure. It's the best one still.
Yeah, it is. And you got like that weird bug girl, a bunch of funny NPCs there. All good stuff.
The bug girl was cute.
Yep. All right. This is from Great Eights. Hey, punching up. Mama Micah recently mentioned that viewer game suggestions are usually trash. Taking that as a personal challenge.
I don't know if I said it like that. I don't know if I was that harsh.
I'm recommending a game I'm working on that I think she'd enjoy. It's called Cattle Country, a cozy farming game set in the Wild West. We even got Roger Clark to lend his hot cowboy voice.
Ooh.
That's Arthur Morgan, everybody.
Aha.
We even, oh, sorry, right. I reckon she might want to give it a gander while sipping her ketchup and chocolate milk when it hits the trail on PS5, Switch, and Steam later this year. Now, Mike, I took a look at this game, and I think it actually does look pretty cute, and you might actually enjoy it. So that's why I put it in here. Check that out, Micah. It seems kind of right up your alley.
Oh, I absolutely will. And no, I didn't mean to say like most, suggestions are trash, but the point
you can
I
be
was
harsh.
making was,
it's okay.
Well, it's what happens often, though. It's true. And I'm sure it happens to you guys as well. Like someone will say, oh, you'd really like this game. And you check it out and it's like, I've never played a single thing similar to this. In fact, I said I hated it. But, it's like we all just kind of sometimes want other people to like the things we like. It's like people continuously recommending me Metroidvanias. And it's like, I hate platforming. I hate platforming. Anything past a Yoshi or a Kirby difficulty just is frustration city for me. And it's like, just don't recommend me platformers, man, unless it's Kirby. I don't want it. And I get so many recommendations for platformers.
What are you going to do, though, when that new 3D Mario comes out? You got to play it.
I will not. Do it. I will not. I could not beat Odyssey. It was way too hard. I couldn't beat Mario Wonder. I gave it a try. Did I buy it? Yes. Did I try it? Yes. I was awful.
Fair enough. It just needs to be very cute for Micah to play it.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be the goal.
I mean, you can tell the difficulty levels of Nintendo games. Kirby games are not that difficult. Like Kirby Triple Deluxe is one of my all-time favorite games on 3DS, and it's just a different style. I don't know what it is, but like the Mario games, like Odyssey was difficult for me as someone who didn't really grow up with platformers. And then you have something like Yoshi's Crafted World, which again, it's like this feels like a baby mode, platformer, but for me it was perfect. So if Yoshi and Kirby, those games are the perfect difficulty for me. Mario, you can feel it that it's an uptick
Clarification:
in
Kirby games
difficulty.
get really hard at the end when you have to
They
That's
do.
true.
unlock
Oh,
all the
dude, yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Kirby Star
But that's why they
Allies.
have the perfect difficulty, because like Mario is
Yeah.
kind of like hard like throughout, whereas like Kirby is like really really easy in like the first 80% in the game, and like the last 20% that you don't need to actually finish to see the credits is like harder than Elden Ring actually.
Seriously, Kirby Star Allies. I played that with a friend all the way through, and the whole time we were like, "This is really cute and fun, but it's like way too easy." And then the final boss was ridiculously hard, and I was like,
It just
"What
turns
is
up,
this?"
yeah.
The whole game was a cakewalk.
They
We're
turn
two
up.
adults. All right, we're two adults playing this game together. But you're totally right. Kirby games do usually have a difficulty spike at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. What was the newest Kirby game?
Forgotten
Land?
Lands.
Forgotten Land, that's right. Did you
Yes.
try that one, Micah?
Yeah, I played the whole thing. I'll
Okay,
try
cool.
pretty much anything Kirby. Like
Man.
I really like those games.
I'm pretty soft on Kirby, but that was a really good game when I played it. That was like a nice step up for Kirby. I appreciated that because I do like Kirby games, but I was never like excited about them. I was like, it's fine. It's Kirby. It's whatever. But that was a really good game. Hopefully the next Kirby steps it up as well.
No, I liked that one a lot. The exploration kind of element to the levels was cool. I liked like the shape shifting, of course. All the various Kirby faces were so cute. Like, and then the only like real challenge I had was the timed trials where like your little Kirby car. Oh my god, some of those I wanted to like rip my hair out. I did try them all, but I definitely didn't get 3 stars or whatever the fuck the perfect thing was. Because man, those time trials are not my thing.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved the Kirby car. It's so hideous but awesome at the same time.
Very disturbing.
Yeah, everything's made out of Kirby's flesh. Like it's a little troubling.
Yeah, we need like ultra realistic looking Kirby flesh going on. That's what I need to see in the future. All right, this is from Ryan Champion. Hi, Punching Up crew. With all these possible leaks of Switch 2 and its hardware, do we think that it hurts the discourse around it? Losing the surprise with the internet? Does Nintendo need to get ahead of this? Or do you think they don't give a shit because ultimately it won't make a difference? Hope you had a good time off. All right, what do you guys think? Does Nintendo actually need to do anything or not?
No. Because it's a good question. Do we think this hurts the discourse around it? I think the issue is that like everything, like all discourse around everything is harmed already. So, it doesn't. Even if we had no leaks, the discourse around Switch 2 would be stupid anyways. So,
what do you think, Micah?
No, I agree. It's honestly, it's too late to change course. Like this delay has already happened. The leaks, if true, even if not true, it's just one of those things of like we're too late to get ahead of this. The solution was to actually formally announce the Switch 2 months ago. And just show people what it is. And it's like, if so long as it's actually coming out this year, you could have announced it in October, in November, whenever. I mean, yeah, they want their holiday sales, right? But the reality is like, do I think it's going to hurt the Switch 2? Not really. If all these leaks are true, I'm happy so far because what I want is an upgraded Switch. And that's what the leaks are showing so far, right? They're showing Joy-Cons that look familiar, but maybe attached differently, right. So for me right now, these leaks are confirming what I would want to see if they're all true. You'd only be disappointed if you wanted something radically different. And I think that'd be a terribly small subset of the audience right now.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, I don't know. I guess some of the surprise will be gone, but that's not going to matter when this thing goes on sale. It's not going to matter at all.
And, like, is it much of a surprise? My biggest thing is I know that Nintendo frequently, like, really tries to reinvent the wheel with each new console. However, the Wii U was such a tremendous flop. I truly cannot imagine them doing that when the Switch has been such a success. I can't imagine them saying, we're going back to a GameCube style console and then we're going to have a separate handheld, like the Switch Lite will remain and this will be your home console. I can't imagine them abandoning it right now. I think it's almost a given that we get 2 Switch style hybrid consoles at least. Maybe in the future they'll return to separate home console 3DS style handheld. But I mean, they really, in terms of like what the Wii U did to this company, they cannot risk this. Like again, they just
No.
can't.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm with you, Micah. They're not going to rock the boat. They have a winning formula. They no longer have to divide resources between handheld teams and console teams. It's just all in one now. So it makes way too much sense for them. As much as I would love a powerhouse Nintendo thing, it's not going to happen. The only thing you could pray for that also won't happen is ports on PC or something else for Nintendo games. Legal ones. Or, sold by Nintendo. Like, can you imagine just buying Mario on Steam? How wild that would be.
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Like the world would be ending, it feels like, if that happened. That's like a sign of revelation or something happening. Like the world's gonna blow up. It's like crazy.
The world would end if Mario ends up on Epic Games Store. That's
whoa, Gene. That's dark.
the real end of the world right there.
That's gross, dude. I don't like that. Epic Store exclusive
so
would
gross,
be the worst.
Just the thought of it, it's so nasty.
Yeah, that is filthy. Yeah, I don't like that whatsoever. All right. Well, speaking of Switch 2, the leaks just won't stop. They are coming out all over the world. I just saw a new one this morning before we started recording. It just will not stop. Everyone is ready to go. Everyone just wants this damn thing announced. And some person in Chinese factory, they just keep leaking these things like crazy. This thing's got to be coming soon. It's going to be funny if we get like the entire thing before Nintendo announces it, like having a clear picture of what it is. 'Cause we have a pretty good idea of what it is already, but seeing the actual like thing lined up or something would be really weird, and it could easily happen. But let's start with this new patent that came out, a new DLSS patent. So Nintendo was granted a patent on December 31st, showcasing that they could use DLSS or DLSS type upscaling on their next hardware. DLS allows UI upscaling for improved resolutions and frame rates, and the patent has the ability to reduce game file size to allow them to fit onto a cartridge. So you'll need to do an additional download when you buy a physical game. So this seems kind of like where consoles are going. We saw this with PlayStation 5 Pro, with which there's their DLSS kind of thing. It's called PSSR, I believe. So now Nintendo's going to also have this, and I find it very interesting that they're talking about using it to fit their games onto cartridges. So what that means now is you're going to have to download something right away when you get your game. It's not just going to work out of the box. And I know that's going to annoy a lot of physical and game preservation purists, but that's just kind of the reality of things now because games are getting huge. I wonder how big these carts will be, how many gigs they can hold. But
yeah, that's a huge question I have.
Yeah.
Xbox discs are so tiny and they don't give a shit,
Right, yeah. Well, Xbox doesn't even do like physical media anymore.
No, they don't. Yeah, it's pretty much give up now.
Physical is still huge on Nintendo as far as I'm aware. Probably the biggest out of all of the three right now.
And PlayStation too. Our friends at Sacred Simples call it always like to say, oh, everyone's fucking buying digital or whatever like that. But it's like when you actually look at the leaks though, more people are buying physical Sony first party still.
Mm. Yeah.
Sony first party is still being paid more by physical. Not by a lot, but it's still there though. It's still
physical
it's still more
important for both of those systems, especially Nintendo right now. But it is just kind of a bummer, I guess. I mean, that's just the reality of gaming. Console gaming is now. You're going to need to be connected online to get your games to work. This isn't the Xbox One era anymore. Where you have to have the always online. It's been quite a few years, but I get it. Sucks for a lot of people, but that's just the way we're going. Micah, how do you feel about this? Going to need to download probably when you get your games.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not ideal, but also half the time you pop in a brand new game and you have to download a big update for it. Like it's like, oh, we need to patch a bunch of shit anyways, right? So most games, even so, you're going to have to stop and wait for something to download, whether it's a day one patch or whatever. So not ideal, but it is what it is. I'm just thrilled that it's like, okay, you're still going to be making cartridges. That's all I want to hear. I just want to hear that you're still going to be making cartridges and I can still buy them. It's not the best situation to not have all the data on it, but I just want to keep collecting all my little games here.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys think the cases will be the same as Switch cases? And the carts, I should say, both of them. Same form factor.
Both. Like, because we went from the DS to the 3DS, and those had like slightly different shaped cartridges, and the 3DS could play both. But
Right.
we did go from the DS case being thicker, and then slightly different shaped cartridge. I would like for them to keep it the same, at least for the cases, just for unifying the collection. But I'm not confident they're going to do that.
Yeah. Do you guys think it's the color's going to be red again?
I think red, yeah.
Red?
I mean, that's Mario color. I think they stick with red. Like, it's ubiquitous with Nintendo to have red. I mean, well, actually, my Mario mug right now is kind of more orange. This is like flat out an orange mug. But otherwise, usually he's red.
They haven't been afraid to change color schemes though. Wii was white. The Wii U was like that blue color.
Yeah.
They're not afraid. They'll do it. I mean, Super Nintendo was like, in the United States at least, it was like purple and gray. So I don't know. I mean, red would be cool again because it does make sense. I agree, Mike. It is Mario. I just hope the spines are a little different when you look at them because they all are like that same exact red and they look very similar. I hope there's a little more to them so you can tell, but just by looking at them, so I don't have to like get really close to it to actually read the name on it.
No, that's very true because all the other game cases might have like a little icon for it, little logo on it.
Yeah.
It definitely, these are so skinny, such like skinny cases that there's no space for anything on the spine that you can actually see.
Yeah, I agree. Gene, what do you think, man? You think they're gonna change it up?
I kind of do. Again, I talked about it before, but the thing I hate about the Switch cases, I like the red color, of course, but there's no logos on them. They're just all a standard font.
Yeah.
This is the game name, and it just makes it so hard to tell what the game is unless you like have it in alphabetical order, like on your shelf, like I do, which I've actually kind of given up on now too because I have so many games. Yeah. I wonder what the cases will look like. I wonder what the cartridges will look like too. That's probably my biggest question.
How long before we see someone lick the cartridges? This is what always happens.
I mean, not long at all, right? I never did it, by the way. I never tasted the cartridge. No. My dog did. She was not deterred, so they can't be that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see it immediately. This DLSS upscaling. This is cool. We've kind of like seen like data things about, Mario, what was it, Paper Mario having maybe potential for 4K and stuff like that, files in there with the next hardware, possibly. I wonder if this is going to be something that'll work on old games. I doubt it. I doubt Nintendo will specialize and do a lot of it. Maybe a select few. But we've talked about this, and I feel like Nintendo would just sell you a new version of the game because it's Nintendo and it works, or at least charge you for an upgrade. What do you think, though, Micah? Do you think they're just going to upgrade some of these games, these past games, for free or whatever, or are you going to have to pay?
So, like you mentioned, when there was previously that person who, figured out like, hey, there's, 4K potential capabilities on this game. If they have already enabled that on some like prior games, maybe it would just be like, hey, and you play this now on the new Switch and it'll play this way. But I feel like they'd go for the paid upgrade route. I feel like that's what they would do. But it's hard to know because it's like, on the one hand, why are these files in here? If you don't want to utilize it later, potentially just like get the goodwill of the fans and do it for free. But I don't know. It might be like if for $10, you can have the upgraded version of it. I feel like they're going to have us pay for this. I don't think Nintendo's going to not nickel and dime us.
Yeah. Do you agree, Gene?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, that's just not a Nintendo thing. I guess a lot of people do that, like Sony. But I don't know. I would pay for it for a lot of games. Gladly. No, I would do it immediately. Especially if they did like Zelda, anything Zelda. Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine playing Echoes of Wisdom where it doesn't run like hot trash all the time? That'd be amazing. It'd be great. I would love that. Okay, so now we also got Joy-Con leaks. Photos shared on a Chinese social media platform showed some pictures of these Joy-Cons, these new ones. And what's interesting about this is people kind of check this out, and the system serial number is valid by Nintendo's check warranty page. So that could legitimize it somewhat. And well, let's take a look at these Joy-Cons real quick. Let's dive into them. First of all, it looks pretty similar to our typical Joy-Con, but it's got a few modifications. One thing I like right off the bat is it has where you see kind of like the ZR buttons and the ZL, if you're holding out the Joy-Con, it has like a blue trim to it now. What was it? The Switch launch, it had like the black Joy-Cons and it also had the red and the blue Joy-Con. It looks like they're doing that, like a different variation, a little more subtle perhaps on that, because we're seeing only one Joy-Con. We're seeing like the left Joy-Con and that one's blue. I wonder if the right side will be that red color, which would be really nice. I think that'd be really cool. But it looks good right there. So far, it looks a little bigger too. Also, this time around,
different from the leaks that we saw late last year.
Yeah,
because I thought the Joy-Cons were going to be rounder, but no, they look fairly flat still.
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, maybe.
Remember, I thought it was going to be like a cock.
You know? Yeah. It's not quite cock shape or anything like that, but it may be just a little rounder. Because I think it being bigger will help a lot too. Just for me, at least.
Maybe
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Maybe it's look bigger, and I was like, oh, it's a cock. So
yeah, yeah, maybe. The Joy-Cons are very tiny, but I don't really play with them, and it's probably great for kids and people with smaller hands. It makes total sense, but for me, this looks a little more appealing. The back trigger,
cool. If it's still flat, then you can still use shit like this, the grips or whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Solve for that. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's gonna be a million third-party things.
Exactly.
If you want, but I'll be using the Pro controller that they're definitely gonna have. We got a couple things like the back trigger is a little different. Let me get my Joy-Con actually and look at this. Yeah, so the back Joy-Con now, it looks like it has the ZL button still kind of up here. You got this little ZL button, but right here on the side, there's also a new button right here. It looks like a button at least. So that could be interesting. I wonder what button that'll be. I wonder if they're going to get rid of like just the L buttons at the top because they're very small up here, these little L buttons. So I wonder if that will stay the same or if they're just going to add a new button, or maybe this will be something to like to detach it, because the detach button on here is very tiny. So maybe that's like a new version of it. And also people were noticing kind of with these Joy-Cons is there is like an optical sensor, might have an optical sensor on the Joy-Con. So you could theoretically use it like a mouse or something like that for motion and everything. Immediately, I thought of Mario Paint. And I was like, oh, you're bringing Mario Paint back? I love that fly swatting game. So maybe that'll come back in some way. But so far, from what we've seen of this Joy-Con, what do you think about it, Micah?
No, like what we kind of mentioned earlier, I am happy just to see that if this is all real, this is a very similar form factor. We obviously have some upgrades here, which is definitely what we wanted. Like Nintendo, those previous patents of like, okay, maybe it's going to be like magnetized instead of like sliding in on those rails. I had mentioned on Summon Sign, I have had problems with while playing in handheld mode, the Joy-Cons kind of like pop up a little bit, sometimes to the point that you actually do lose your inputs. You got to pop them back in place. Maybe this is like more secure, which would be great. So I'm happy just to see how similar it is to what we already have, because I truly just want an upgraded Switch, not a complete overhauled console. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this is all about. These like different shaped buttons, what that little sensor could be utilized for. Maybe, it could just be like, no, all it is for the internals. But the possibilities, Brad, could be pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you think so far, Gene?
Yeah, it looks. I mean, the sensor thing is interesting, but I honestly am. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't find Switch leaks very exciting to me. I don't find any of this exciting. I don't find like any of the endless speculation exciting. I don't care because it doesn't matter in the end. What matters is having the console in the living room.
Oh yeah,
for
well,
sure.
you can enjoy the moment leading up to it, though. You can
Yeah,
have
I mean,
realism.
I'm just bored of the content mill of having to talk about leaks all the time. You know, yeah. Sorry to be a downer, but I'm just tired of it.
No,
It's why I never write about it in the post because
I'm with you.
I don't like doing this. You know.
No, 100% Gene. Like, I'm just frustrated at this point that we really have only this to go on. All we know from Nintendo is that it will be announced in the first quarter of this year. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, please, just give us something, anything. Like, we have Chinese factory workers like showing off the
Mm-hmm.
goods, and you guys are still just like, we have third party accessory makers who are so frustrated by these delays that they are starting to leak the accessories they're making for Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is how upset your business partners are getting. So, like, yeah, how do the fans feel? It is beyond frustrating to have to just keep waiting for this console that should have been out this year. And they still, now we're just going to keep getting these little bits and pieces of what the console potentially will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
just leaked
Nintendo
up.
wants to have control of the conversation, like they don't have control. So
No,
you know,
not at all.
yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. Well, you're in for a rough time, Gene, because we got a lot more Switch leaks to talk about here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Digital Foundry, like the motherboard of this thing pretty much got leaked as well. And the tech experts at Digital Foundry kind of weighed in all this stuff. They know way more about this stuff than we do. So we'll get their opinion on a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to read this brief summary from Nintendo Life. They kind of broke it down. The tech experts over at Digital Foundry have weighed in on the recent Switch 2 motherboard leak, presenting their views on what the apparent components included mean for the power and performance of the upcoming console. If you've been following along with the Switch 2 rumors for some time now, then much of what Digital Foundry says probably won't actually come much of a shock. In a nutshell, the team believes that the console will probably be capable of playing any PS4 game, a bit at a slightly lower native resolution. They're also quick to clarify, however, that this likely won't matter with the additional upscaling from NVIDIA's DLSS. So I think it actually has NVIDIA in there, so it will be DLSS. It's also hypothesized that the NVIDIA SoC is indeed a Samsung 8 nanometer fabrication, which, according to Digital Foundry, is a particularly power efficient chip. Given that the battery component for the Switch 2 is surprisingly small, this might actually put the Switch 2 at a slight disadvantage against the likes of the Steam Deck from an efficiency standpoint. However, another point to consider is that the Switch 2 is essentially a fixed platform, much like its predecessor, which could alleviate concerns with the SoC. It's also important to consider that the T239 processor, which Digital Foundry previously investigated in depth, has been purposely built for the Switch 2 by NVIDIA and Nintendo. This matters significantly since Nintendo had absolutely no input on the processor for the current Switch. And just look how that turned out. Considering the technical miracles that have been performed on the console since its launch in 2017, we can probably expect the Switch 2 to be capable of some incredible feats. So yeah, going on right there, if you're looking at it with paper from what we know, we're assuming it's going to be like PS4 kind of power level. Of course, they're saying DLSS, so that's going to change things dramatically, but we can't really, I guess, have a good gauge on that until we actually see a lot of that kind of stuff. And from a power standpoint, essentially, I guess like its battery and stuff like that, I don't expect it to be as good as Steam Deck from that standpoint. Steam Deck is really good, but it's just a different machine, and I can't see this machine. I'm just going to guess this machine's going to be 4 or 450 max. I can't see this thing being 500. But Micah, all this going on here, does this kind of just sound right what we expected? PS4 kind of area? Not PS4 Pro. Some people thought it'd be Pro, but just PS4.
Yeah, this sounds like what we could expect reasonably from Nintendo in terms of power. My biggest thing is always just the games that they create. We're not trying to run Final Fantasy 16 on this thing. We're running the next 3D Mario. Like, that's their first party contribution, right? Of course, we want better third party like support on these consoles, but their bread and butter, you look at the types of games that they're making, they don't really need it to be as powerful as a PS5 Pro, do they? Like Princess Peach Showtime was kind of overclocking the OG Switch, but that definitely doesn't need PS5 Pro level specs to run better. So I, of course, would love it to be even more powerful, but yeah, this sounds about like what we expected in terms of how far they will take the hardware, especially if we're continuing with the hybrid console and it's still going to be handheld. So, I mean, this is good news in my opinion. I'm not the biggest hardware person either, right? But to me, at least, it's meeting the expectations that we all kind of had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of seems to be falling in line what we all expected. I didn't have any hopes of it being like some people I saw were thinking it's going to be like close to PS5 and Series X, and it's like there's no way, man. So PS4 level is kind of what I'm expecting, but yeah, I'm very curious to see what the game or how they utilize DLSS and all that because it can make a huge difference. Gene, I assume this is kind of what you expected as well, right off the bat.
Yeah, totally. There's a tweet going around saying, oh no, it's going to be like a PS4. And meanwhile, the PS4 games are Red Dead Redemption 2 and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
From 2018, which still look great.
Yeah.
So we're still playing PS4 games in 2024, 2025. Yeah. Like, let's be real. Like, the PS4 console is still alive and well and selling well, and people are still making a lot of games for it, including Sony. So,
All right, and finally, just to wrap it up, we got
and there's a whole discourse about how Uncharted 4 still looks better than most games today.
Uncharted 4 does look really good, yeah, really good.
But yeah, it's about utilizing the hardware like the best way possible, not strictly having the most powerful machine, but just really using it to your advantage. And it just comes back to what types of games are we going to be playing on here? Is it disappointing that something like Mortal Kombat 1 had to be so stripped down to run on Switch? Absolutely. Was that most people's preferred console for that game, though? Are most people coming to Switch to play that, or are they coming to Switch for the first-party games that are tailor-made for this console?
Yeah, exactly. And like Naughty Dog games, Uncharted games are tailor-made for the PlayStations, right? And look at what miracles they can squeeze out of that. So imagine a Naughty Dog like dedication with like real resources like Nintendo can marshal behind on a dedicated platform. That's the real promise of the Switch 2 and a PS4 like Nintendo system.
Yeah. We got to see those Nintendo first party kind of flexing the hardware.
Exactly.
So we shall see. Cool. All right. Well, that's Switch 2 kind of roundup. I'm sure leading up to whatever announcement they're going to be doing, hopefully soon, but maybe not. We'll probably get more because I feel like we're getting new things every day almost from this thing. So might see the whole thing soon, all ready to go.
We're gonna see somebody playing it, right? It'll be, how like
playing it, yeah.
We'll do how like Walmart is notorious for shipping out pre-ordered games like a week early. There's always like some lucky guy who gets a game early from Walmart. Someone's just gonna some warehouse is gonna get a bunch of Switches completely when they shouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
People are gonna be taking pictures of it and all.
Yeah, you're right. Because like these things are like probably done, ready to go.
Must be. I mean, geez, like the fact that we all had the rumors that it was supposed to come out in 2024, I mean, if it's not ready yet, something catastrophic happened. A factory burned down and all the components went up in smoke. Like, how else could it not be?
Yeah, it's an exciting time. We're all just kind of waiting to see if Nintendo will say anything right away. So, could happen any day now. So, hopefully soon. All right, let's move on from Switch 2 to some kind of bad news right here. Or that's bad news. The Punch-Out series is kind of dead. So I got this from mynintendonews.com, but this story broke originally from Kind of Funny. Kind of Funny Games presenter Imran Khan has said on the gaming forum Reset Era that the Punch-Out series is effectively a dead franchise at Nintendo. Khan said that he spoke to someone a while back who was involved in the Punch-Out game from Next Level Games and asked them about a new game. The person he spoke to said the character backlash, which ensued after the Wii version was released, combined with the overall sales of the series, have simply buried the games. However, he does say that another studio could always work on the Punch-Out franchise in the future. Quote, I got someone from, let's say, a studio close to Punch-Out drunk at a bar once and asked about a new one. The story I was told, and bear in mind, this could just be the perspective of one person and no one else, was that there was significantly more backlash against the characters of the Wii game than expected. and this team spent a lot of time assuring Nintendo that they weren't leaning into bad stereotypes that would get called out this time. So everyone just kind of furrowed their eyebrows and called it done, especially since other games from the team had much, much higher sales potentials. Quote, still, I guess it's less, we can't do it without stereotypes, so let's not bother, and more a World Warriors problem where they can't fully cut the past from without people writing. So yeah, that and the other game from the studio sell like 14 million copies more, so why bother? So, okay, I assume they're referring to, what was it, Punch Out on Wii? I did not play this one. Gene, did you play this one?
I did.
Okay, so I have no context for this. Was there a bunch of like stereotypes things in there?
I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't. I try to Google stuff, and I mean, there's people talking about the stereotypes or whatever like that, but I don't see any articles or anything that there were any kind of backlash. So that's what puzzles me about this story. I'm almost inclined to not even believe it.
Interesting.
It's a guy at a bar.
Yeah, drunk.
Okay, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to look this up. This last Punch Out, was it really Wii?
It was the Wii, yeah.
Wow,
yeah, cool motion controls. It's a good parallel to World Warriors, Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter, the series in general, like traffics and stereotypes, cultural stereotypes, but it's fairly respectful and celebratory. And I feel like everyone understood that with Punch Out as well. So I have no idea. Like, it sounds like a fake story that you would tell a games journalist who would pick up on it because it has to do with woke. So they're like, oh my God, this is right on my alley. This is about woke things.
Yeah.
So I have to talk about this now. No.
And this was like the Wii era. So it's 2009. That like wasn't in vogue necessarily back then.
I mean, that's the thing. Like nobody was talking about this kind of stuff back then too,
Yeah.
So I have no idea what like those kind of articles were like 2018, 2019 style, articles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right, 100%. So it does seem strange to me, Gene, because I've personally never heard anything about it I haven't played it, so I was like, oh, maybe I'm just missing something here. But it's interesting that you've played it and you just don't recall anything necessarily like that or a big deal around the time, because I don't either with that going on. But Punch Out, it's like Punch Out's fine, it's cool. I like it, but I'm not like clamoring for a new one. But I know some people would like a new one. Does this kind of bum you out, Gene, that maybe we won't get a new Punch Out?
It's cool, but like, I feel like a lot of games have already replaced what Punch Out is,
Right.
When you play a lot of games now, even fucking games like Callisto Protocol,
Such a funny comparison.
Punch Out game.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you're all about dodging and weaving and getting in the hit, So, Punch Out has been so influential, but I don't know if Punch Out would need to be something innovative, like ARMS was trying to be something innovative,
Yes.
And ARMS was great.
Yeah.
Nobody picked up on that, it'd be great to see it and like Punch Out redefined, but that's what Nintendo likes to do. Like they'll the believable part about the story is that like Nintendo might pick it up again if there's interest, and basically like if another studio has like another great idea to like, this is how we're going to revitalize the Punch Out series. It's not going to be about left and right and punching. It's going to be about, I don't know, make it like the fucking Hajime no Ippo Victory Road series.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, the Hajime no Ippo boxing games on PS2, those were very, very innovative and interesting boxing games.
Cool. Yeah, hell yeah. Micah, what do you think about Punch Out? First of all, have you played a Punch Out game?
No, of course I have watched people play them online, but I did not have this for Wii. But on the game's Wikipedia page, this is what's interesting to me. It notes that the game, did very well critically. Game Informer gave it a 9 out of 10. IGN gave it an 8.8 out of 10. Only The Escapist mentioned that the stereotypes in the game had not aged well, according to this Wikipedia page. So did somebody say that? Yeah. I kind of still don't really buy it that that's the exact reason why it's not coming back, though, because I don't think anyone would be like too upset if it's like, hey, we're doing Punch Out, we're introducing new characters. Do we really need 40 more years of Little Mac? I mean, like, can he be like, I don't know, can he be like your teacher or something? But Jesus, like, would it kill him to have new characters? Do we really need them to be exactly the same? If you truly are sensitive about the stereotypes, like as the studio making the game, well, I mean, yeah, wouldn't it be fun to have new boxers? Wouldn't it be fun to have Punch Out 2026 and there's a new roster? And because I mean, realistically, this heavy set black man who's training you would have died 40 years ago. If I'm being honest, there's no way that guy's still alive. So why don't we just change up the cast? And you don't have to make it dramatically different, but I don't know, man. That seems like a lot of nothing, when in reality maybe it's just not super popular.
Yeah,
it's probably just not that popular. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, really, it's because I think about things. Even I remember, like, one of my friends had. Was there like a UFC game for Kinect, like an MMA game for Kinect? Yeah. There was, and it was awful, right? And I remember the Dragon Ball Z game being awful as well. Motion controls in general, just kind of like the gimmick wore off. There were too many awful games that really just didn't work well. And then it's like, okay, well, do we do a regular Punch-Out game, no motion controls? Is that the bigger problem, that they don't want to go back to that? Because they feel like they're admitting defeat. They're admitting the motion controls have kind of failed them. Nintendo is still digging its heels in a bit with motion controls. I, don't want them at all. I don't want motion controls in the Cooking Mama game on Switch. I don't want them in Skyward Sword. When I get to that, like, motion controls. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Man.
And I feel like a lot of people don't want it.
That's true.
So I don't know. Seems like there's a lot of reasons why this game wouldn't be made again, but I highly doubt it's because the characters are too stereotypy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I like the idea of the next one.
For fuck's sake, they had a ramen loving Chinese girl in ARMS called Min, and her arms were noodles.
Min.
Yeah, Min. And her arms were literal noodles. Amiibo. Yeah.
She's amazing.
So I don't think stereotyping is a problem in Nintendo.
Yeah.
I know, look, like the one black character is like a Splatoon DJ. It's like we have one black lady in the Nintendo fandom.
That's right, yeah. What's her face? Yeah, she's a thick DJ, you know?
Yeah, she's a rapper too.
And they're awesome. This is not a problem with me. I loved Marina and Pearl. I fucking love. Yeah,
and they're in a rap group and everything too. And yeah, and like the big Finn guy, he's like, you know, it's like
exactly. He's like, yeah.
Nintendo has no problem coming up with like interesting stereotypical characters. That's not an issue with them.
No.
Again, this sounds like a guy that pulled one over on a journalist at a bar. You know?
Yeah, that'd be really funny. I would love that. That'd be awesome. I mean, it's like they got to bring other stuff back before Punch-Out. Like they can't even figure out what to do with Star Fox yet. It's like, come on,
F-Zero, come on,
or F-Zero. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you can wait a little bit. Bring Chibi Robo back before this or something.
Yeah, let's figure out Star Fox before Punch-Out. You know,
yeah. Yeah. Punch-Out least of my concerns right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Now, guys, let's talk about what we've been playing. Micah, you and me talked about on Summon Sign what we're doing, or what we've played a lot yesterday for us. So we'll go with Gene first, and we'll just kind of be more brief, I suppose, when we get to you and me. But Gene, yeah, dude, you've been playing a lot of stuff, I assume, over the break. Talk to us.
Actually, I've only been playing Yakuza games over the break.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Just felt like that was really cozy. You know, I could play stuff like Persona 3 or whatever, but I was just like, I just want something really familiar. And it turns out I actually got brave and just, you know, I mean, not brave. And you know me, I like to play every Switch port of every game, right? And it would be wrong of me for me not to play the Yakuza version on the Nintendo Switch. I actually pre-ordered the physical copy of limited run games. I know we all hate limited run games, but you know, they do a good job sometimes of making some physical releases for some games.
Yeah.
So
they do. The only thing I hate is how long it takes sometimes to ship your fucking games.
For sure, yeah. I mean, you know, that company has a lot of problems, but I still buy from them. And so I bought the physical edition that's coming out in March, maybe according to how me and Micah waited, probably going to get it in March 2026 or whatever. But I downloaded it on Switch. It's pretty crunchy, crunchy.
Which one is it? Which
Yakuza
Yakuza game?
Kiwami, just part one. Yeah,
just part one. Interesting. Not zero or anything. Oh,
it's a little weird. I feel like that's RGG signaling. Like Kiwami is actually probably the best part.
Okay, sure.
To start with, because it's the worst one, right? It's the one with the story where the story just kind of is very 2005. It's just supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to be this whole epic series of like 40 fucking games, whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then they retroactively add a lot of stuff from Zero into Kiwami, including really, really awesome style stances, the rush style. I love Kiryu's rush style.
Yeah.
But the performance on Switch, pretty crunchy. It hovers around 30 frames per second. It's like one of those games that feels like that it's not capped at 30. They're just like, fuck it, we'll just let it run whatever.
Switch ports it, fuck it.
Yeah, just whatever, let it run whatever. And it seems to hover around 30 to 25, and then sometimes like when there's like a heat action move, then it goes on to like 20 or like
during the heat action, man.
Yeah, during the heat actions it gets pretty stuttery sometimes, but most of the time it's okay. It's pretty playable. A lot of pop in. Cloud of pop in more than usual than I've ever seen, especially since I've been playing a lot of the games on PC, on Steam Deck. So portable Yakuza, the novelty of that has already been gone because I've been playing Yakuza on Steam Deck for years and years and enjoying it. But comparing the Steam Deck versions, where I'm just playing it on medium even, to the Switch version, a lot of pop-ins. As I turn around, like the leaves on a tree will just be like bloop, just suddenly appear. Signs and certain things in the background on buildings will just appear much closer to Kiryu than usual. So you can kind of feel the different cutbacks that they had to make to kind of fit this experience on the Switch. But it was fittable, and they fit the whole thing. The whole game is in there.
Wow!
All the mini games, all the cutscenes, every battle, every style, every sub story, it's in there. I beat the game. I beat the game again.
Nice.
In about 8 hours on the Switch.
Yeah, if you mainline, you can get pretty fast.
Yeah, skipping a good chunk of the cutscenes because I actually just played Kiwami like early last year too, so I don't really care. But yeah, fun time. But yet another reminder that the Switch is getting pretty stinky these days.
Oh, dude, it's rotting.
Because after I beat it out, after I beat it on the Switch, I was like, that was fun. I'm gonna go back to my Steam Deck,
totally.
Play Yakuza 6 again, and it runs nicely there too, and it looks great. So
Switch is like a dead corpse that's been dead for like 3 years or like 3 weeks, and it's been taken apart by vultures and all that stuff in the hot sun in the desert. That's the Switch right now. It's struggling.
It's tough. Trust me, as someone who loves playing all these ports on the Switch, and who prefers to play games on the Switch, it's been 8 years now. 2025. It came out in 2017, so it's
Let's go.
Let's go. It definitely feels painful at the end. Even for someone as dedicated as me.
Yeah, even for you.
Who is as tolerant as me about the Switch's stinkiness. It's pretty stinky. Kiwami it was Bayonetta 3 that really made me feel like the repugnancy of it. The stinkiness of it. But Kiwami is like a game that I played on other platforms. Even on a Steam Deck, and playing on the Switch is like, well, yeah, this is definitely like the Game Boy Advance version of the Switch.
Game Boy Advance version, yeah, that's really funny, man. I'm excited to see what kind of ports they do on Switch 2, and to see how they perform. Like, I can't wait for them to put Dragon's Dogma 2 on that thing and just see it blow up right away, just explode. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna
have to be a special version of Dragon's Dogma 2 for the Switch, probably, which you could probably do.
cyberpunk on that thing.
You know, cyberpunk might be possible. That'd be kind of cool, especially since Witcher 3 made it to the Switch, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Elden Ring, obviously,
Elden
is a
Ring.
no-brainer. And all the Yakuza series too.
Yeah, you could put all
The
those
whole series.
on
The whole series.
could do
The
that.
whole series is on PS4, so you can put it on the Switch too.
That's right. Sticking with Yakuza, Gene, I finished Infinite Wealth finally over the
Ooh,
break. I did
nice.
finish it, and it was good. The story I wasn't into as much
Right.
in a lot of the ways, like a lot of the island, like the main plot there, and like the villain of all that kind of stuff. I was just kind of like, it's all right. But I did like a lot of the stuff around the characters. Like I liked Kiryu's. Kind of looking back at his memories and doing these like
bucket list stuff. Yeah.
The bucket list stuff, yeah, with like Dante's and all that kind of stuff. The detective, I appreciated all that kind of stuff. The combat was way better this time around, I think, compared to like a dragon.
Way better.
Way better.
Move around, all the area effect stuff.
All that kind of stuff.
Really, really fun combat for sure.
Yeah, I wish they would cool it kind of on the button inputs, because like after 60, 70, 80 hours of like timing every single attack, I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm kind of sick of this after a while. But I think maybe you can automate it.
That's a good point.
I think it's cool for like shorter games. I think it is a little better. I do like it for the blocking though. I think that's really good actually. If you kind of do like the perfect blocks, I think that's actually really cool though. I do like that. Especially later on when you can like upgrade them. Like Kiryu, he can like counter when people do that. If you perfect block, he'll just like punch them back. It's all really good shit. But yeah, I had a good time going through it. I did not do all the Noku Island. I was like, there's no way I'm doing this right now. There's just too much content in this game. I can't do it. But I had a good time through the game, Gene. It kind of reinvigorated me more than I expected with the series, where I'm like, okay, maybe I will buy the pirate game, like a pirate, right away. That seems really fun now. So I'm kind of in. There were some good narrative moments. There's always some good in Yakuza games. Story kind of all over the place. Some of the stuff that wrapped up was kind of not what I was hoping for. It just kind of like rushed over. Some of it just kind of felt really rushed, and I was surprised for how long the game is.
Yeah.
How rushed some stuff kind of felt, but overall, really great game. I had a really fun time playing through it. I do recommend it, but play Like a Dragon if you have not played that at least first. It's very much a sequel, so you got to check that out.
It's a better story too. The plot motivation is there. Infinite Wealth, without getting into spoilers, Infinite Wealth, the story, has a hard time moving,
Yeah. It has a lot to juggle.
There's a lot juggling, and it's hard to move the story along because there's so many fucking characters to deal with, so many different plot threads. And then just like in Hawaii, like Hawaii's an awesome map. Obviously, I'm very biased, right? I'm from there, but like the stuff in Hawaii took a really long time to get going because they're pushing so many fucking mini games on you, So yeah, I'm actually playing Yakuza 5 right now, also on PS5.
Oh, really?
Nice. That's kind of like the game I'm maining right now, and it reminds you of Infinite Wealth in that. Man, there's too many fucking characters here.
I was gonna say that's one with like 4 characters, right?
There's 5 characters, dude.
5? Okay, yeah.
5 different cities, 5 different cities, and 5 different characters. Yakuza 5 was supposed to be like the big epic, of Yakuza.
Damn.
And then Infinite Wealth came along, and it has like fucking 10 different characters.
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
Like Hawaii and like 2 different parts of Japan in it, which is insane.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I'm glad you get rewarded if you have context for the past games,
for sure,
especially with Kiryu. So I'm happy about that. It's cool.
I totally agree with you with the bad guys too. The bad guy in Hawaii was. I liked him because he was just like a bad guy. Like he wasn't.
He was just a bad dude. Yeah,
he wasn't like a redeemable guy. Like the Yakuza series always has a problem with like
that's true. You're right.
Every single person.
You're right.
Even in this game, and that was a huge problem for me in this game. It's like, man, I don't think we need to be redeeming these guys either. So it just felt a little weird, but you're right. You're dead on that. Infinite Wealth's value is more of like a character. It's kind of like Rebirth. if anything. You know,
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
very very character driven stories. You know, it's
Yeah.
all about what happens to these characters and
Yeah.
what kind of emotional journeys they go on. You know.
Yeah, and like I was there for a lot of, with like Kiryu, of course. Very dramatic story, and Ichiban, I was with them, rooting for them. So it was great. I had a lot of fun also upgrading the weapons. Like I got all like the best weapons for a lot of the jobs I was using, so that was a ton of fun. There's a lot of fun jobs in there. Like it's like the samurai, the desperado kind of guy was really fun. The
Yeah.
Aquanaut, the guy at the surfboard was really funny too. I liked him a lot. There's
Yeah.
some good creative stuff
Geo
in there.
Dancer on Chitose. Ooh.
Yeah. 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 It was a good game. Really fun.
Yeah, Chitose was a fun character too, and
Mhm.
Tomizawa. The new characters are really fun too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, good
Okay.
characters. The plot
Yeah.
that they were
Oh,
in
yeah.
wasn't the best and didn't move the best, but the game is fun because the gameplay is like so great, like better than Like a Dragon,
Yeah.
and you know the characters are just great. So
Yeah.
really great game overall.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Really great game. Okay, Micah, what about you?
Yeah, so let me just my update. Okay. I did finish Ocarina of Time over the
Yay.
holiday break.
Mm.
Final play time was 26 hours, 26 minutes. Thought that was pretty cool. Hated the Shadow Temple. That one just
Too
didn't click
scary?
with me. No, I really just had trouble with. First of all, the sound effects gave me a headache like right away. When you have to use the lens of like truth or whatever.
Yeah, the lens of truth.
Yeah, the sound, like it was, I never get headaches. So something about the sound effects in that specific dungeon really just gave me a headache. And I was just like, could not wait for that one to be over. Some of the puzzles, like just didn't click with me. Having to make like some really weird jumps in a game that like you don't have the best controls,
With the
especially
hover
on
boots?
3DS. Exactly. So there were just some complicated jumps in that specific dungeon that frustrated me to no end. But yeah, didn't love that one. That was probably my least favorite dungeon.
Wait, hold up. What did you think of the boss though? Bongo.
Hated. Oh my
What?
God.
Come
Oh,
on,
I mean,
man.
it was just crazy difficult though. It's the camera is the real problem, right? Because you have to shoot each hand with an arrow, and then you got to attack the hands, and then you got to use the lens of truth to reveal his eyeball, and then you got to shoot it with an arrow really quickly, and the camera sucks. You know, like that boss was a really cool concept, but that came down to the controls itself just not being ideal, especially on 3DS. Really cool boss idea, but that was one that I couldn't beat it. Went to sleep the next day. I beat it the first try. It was one of those moments. But so Shadow Temple hated. Gerudo Valley, hate stealth. Absolutely hated having to stealth go through.
It's not great.
Hated that. But then the Spirit Temple itself was
cool
fine.
Temple. Yeah.
I really liked that one. That's where there wasn't much humor in this game, but there's those like twin witch sisters. They are really funny, like genuinely funny lines. And then getting to the final dungeon, you gotta like do like these 6, mini challenges basically to unlock the dungeon. I got so frustrated. I said to Colin, I was like, I'm going to punch Miyamoto in that little bowl cut of his. I was like, that smug fucking smile he always has on. Like, I was so angry at these
funny.
like timed challenges. I was just getting so mad. Finally did it. Felt really accomplished. I think the final boss fight was a little too easy, honestly. And I'm not someone who ever says that. But I also am not complaining because I beat the game. Felt very accomplished, like I said. The ending sequence was very cute. I did not cry like I did at A Link Between Worlds, but I liked the ending a lot. This my first game that I like started and finished this year was the Minish Cap. Really enjoyed it. We talked about it in depth on Summon Sign, but I had a great time with Minish Cap. It took me around 15 hours to beat it. I thought it was a very cute adventure, way more humorous than other Zelda games I've played so far. So the tone was pretty cool to get into. The dungeons were like medium challenging, I'd say. This was not the most difficult of the Zelda games I've tackled so far. The most challenging parts were that it had you do like some timing based things, but the puzzles themselves weren't crazy. So I'm glad I finally got around to that one. And I really enjoyed it. The biggest dislike I had was that you couldn't speed up the dialogue. You couldn't speed up the text when you pick up an item and it has to tell you what the item does every single time. And if those are my biggest gripes, it's like a really great game, because otherwise I really had no issues with it besides that. And then also over break, played a lot of Story of Seasons Trio of Towns on 3DS. I just had an itch for a cozy farming game. And man, I really leaned into it. I had so much fun. I'm still going to be working on it here and there, but I put in like a good 40 hours into that game. And it was just a delight. I love cozy farming games. And yeah, as the listener who wrote in about their little game, Cattle Country, it just looks so cute.
Yep.
I'll be definitely keeping an eye out on that for Switch. And then I picked up 3 games. I haven't started them yet, but I picked up Tales of the Abyss for 3DS because I've been having so much fun playing 3DS that I went on GameStop and was just kind of browsing around what else they have that I don't already own. They had it for $24.99, which was cheaper than other retailers online, so I jumped on that. And then because I was having so much fun with Story of Seasons, I was Googling around like what other current, farming games are popular. And Harvestella, which has been in my Amazon save for later cart for months, it got really great recommendations on the Story of Seasons subreddit. And because I wanted to play, I was like, I want another one of these, but maybe not the exact same thing. So, give me something that's a little different. And this had really great reviews. So I'm going to try that out later. That's, a farming sim with action RPG elements.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try that out. And then lastly, I did pick up Kingdom Come Deliverance on Switch.
Oh, no.
I have been checking the subreddit periodically. And more recently, there was some positive feedback and people had noted like some workarounds to make the game run better. One of those being installing the game on the Switch main storage and not an SD card. So I'm going to do that. Another one was to never suspend the game for more than a couple minutes. Like, do not suspend the game, leave it overnight and come back. That's when it crashes. So allegedly, if you always save and quit, you won't have these crashes where people are losing hours of gameplay. Those are things that, like, I feel like I'm going to give it a try. If it really is like trash, if I lose any gameplay, I'm out. But honestly, these workarounds people are posting about, if you want to call them that, seem to be pretty reliable. Like once people identified it only crashes when I suspend the game and leave it for a few hours, then just don't do that. Mm-hmm. And same as installing it to main storage instead of the SD card, worth a try to see if it actually makes a difference. So it was only $20. So okay. I don't feel like I'm losing a tremendous amount of money. If I do encounter issues with it, maybe it'll be compatible with the next Switch. If it doesn't run well on this one, if the new one takes our cartridges, then bing, bang, boom, we got a way to play it. But I figured I'd give it a try, seeing now this positive feedback on, hey, here are some ways to improve your experience.
Okay, Micah, this is really funny. You going on like Reddit and looking at how to make these things work and looking for solutions. And you're talking about Steam Deck being too complicated. You're getting there. You're getting to that point. It's happening.
But that's the thing, because this isn't settings to change. These are just, things to do.
You're looking for, you're going above and beyond.
That's more. That's actually more than changing settings, honestly. That is, yeah. That's pretty. That's above. That's more than what you need to do on the Steam Deck.
Well, the Steam Deck costs money as well. And as we noted on Summon Sign, I was gifted a Switch Lite, which here's my case.
Yeah,
I got the Kirby case.
Show that off. Yeah.
Yes, I got the Kirby case. And then let me just pop out.
Let's see that block of cheese.
Yeah, I got the yellow Switch Lite for Christmas. Thank you, Colin, for that.
Very nice.
A big surprise. Thanks, Brad, for helping Colin choose the right color. Oh, and I started Fire Emblem on Nintendo Switch Online.
Wait, which
Game Boy Advance one?
Oh, really interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I love Fire Emblem. Started with Awakening. I've played 4 of them since that one came out. Awakening, Fire Emblem Echoes, Three Houses, and Engage. So I like Fire Emblem a lot, but I didn't have access to these older titles. So it's been really fun so far. I'm maybe 2.5 hours in. The only gripe I have is it is so tutorial heavy in
Mm.
like still in these first 2 hours. But there is a lot to go over with the different types of terrain, of course, the weapon weakness system. And then the biggest thing with the tutorial is that it doesn't just say, why don't you try doing this? It's specifically click on this character and send them to this square. And that's where it's like, I mean, you can let me think a little bit. Like, here's an example. It'll say the red roofed houses have people in them for you to talk to. And instead of just saying, why don't you try it? It's like, click on Lynn and send her to this red house. And you can't like accidentally click her and send her to the wrong red house. It has to be this one to this one. That's where it's just like, you're way too handholdy. But it's my understanding that this one was the first Fire Emblem game that we ever got in the USA. So it makes sense that it's a little more tutorial heavy. But the gameplay is great. The story they're telling so far is great as well. Having the Switch Lite really has gotten me back in like a real gaming zone here, and just feeling like, rejuvenated to be playing Switch even more. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving the Switch Lite. It's a fantastic device.
Yeah, no scratches on the screen anymore. No super loud fan.
No, I didn't bring. So that was the thing. I put in Kingdom Come Deliverance, right, to just download it to the system storage. No fan kicking on. I put it in the old Switch. Immediately the fan came on as soon as the like logos start coming up on screen. Hoping that's a good sign. Yeah. But yeah, dude, man, that old Switch is just really, she's chugging. Yeah, she's trying her best.
She worked her heart out.
It's literally the fan. It's not even that, like, it's not the noise of the fan. It gets so hot. Like, you're literally holding this device that is heating up in your hands, and it's like, this isn't good. Right. I feel like it's gonna just like burst in the flames one of these days. So yeah, the Switch Lite has been an excellent addition to the collection. I was so on the fence about getting one. Colin, surprising me with one. I'm like, I should have bought this sooner. It's really awesome.
Yeah, time to put that Switch out to pasture. That old one.
Yeah. No, she's now the backup device, and she's just gonna sit in the dock and wait for the new Switch to arrive, and then she'll get moved upstairs. And then I'll have an upstairs Switch, I guess. But Christ, yeah, that thing's dying.
Thank you for your service, Switch. Mike,
very much so. Yeah. It was a great 7 years, but my laws, it is time.
All right, very nice. I saw this recently yesterday, and I thought it'd be fun to take a look at. I always am interested in this kind of stuff. But this is the Japanese list for downloads for the year of 2024, the Japanese Nintendo Switch list. I just love looking at the list, like seeing what's the most popular in other countries and everything, stuff like that, and in our country as well. But I just saw the Japanese one, so I thought it'd be fun to take a look at what are the most popular Switch games in Japan download-wise. The first one is, I don't know how you say this, Suika game, or it's like watermelon game. That's how it translates, I believe. But this was also the game, I think, that was the top download last year. And it's like a puzzle game. It's very, very popular. It kind of looks like Tetris almost, but with like fruit and stacking them together. It looks very cute. Mike, have you played this game? This looks kind of up your alley.
No, Dustin recommended it, and I keep telling myself, oh, I should absolutely buy that. And then it's just, I haven't needed a game like that right now. Like, you know what I mean? Similar to like Balatro, I'm waiting until I want to play something like that. I'm waiting until I want that specific vibe. Yeah. And so I keep seeing this game recommended, and Dustin specifically have recommended it. But I'm like, I'm just not in the zone for that right now. But every time I see it like pop up in the eShop, I'm like, oh, you should just get it and try it, because you're going to be hooked on it. You know you will.
Yeah. But yeah, number one game, download in Japan. Number 2 was Exit 8. So I had never heard of this game, but this is it kind of reminds me of like, those backroom games. You guys kind of seen that kind of stuff like that. There's some sort of very popular kind of meme thing. But anyways, it looks like you're in a train station in Japan or something like that. And it looks like a puzzle kind of horror game. I'm assuming by what I saw of the game, I'm not really exactly sure, but it seems kind of interesting. But I was surprised it was the number 2 download. Must be like a phenomenon going on I just haven't seen. Number 3 was Overcooked 2, an older game. But people in Japan love Overcooked, I guess. I mean, Overcooked is a really Really fun. They're fun games. I like them a lot. They're awesome, but you might yell at the person you're cooking with, so be ready for that. Probably has destroyed some relationships, so keep that in mind, but it can also
Oh,
strengthen the
seriously.
relationship. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, like Colin and I have discussed previously that I was like, yeah, my ex and I had gotten like, the 1,000, G's on Overcooked, on Xbox. And
Hmm.
Colin was like, it didn't go that well for me. It just was.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Overcooked will test your relationship. You will
Yeah.
be screaming about soup. You're going to be screaming about tomatoes. It is so much fun. But I'm
Hmm.
saying this like legitimately. You got to play this with someone who's on your level or you're going to feel real bad inside. Like
Yeah.
you just gotta delegate tasks. All right, one person has to take command. You gotta delegate your tasks. But I swear to God, if you're playing with someone who just isn't up to par, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
A real bad
Yeah.
time.
You don't want to be the weak link.
No.
You gotta find out who's gonna be the one giving instructions. You gotta be okay with that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, it's a test for sure. Number 4, kind of surprised this is as low, but I guess it came out pretty late, which was Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Very big in Japan, of course. Dragon Quest is humongous here, especially on Switch. Number 4, I'd love to see Dragon Quest doing well. Number 5, a Monster Hunter Rise. Couple years old already. But
That's
Monster
surprising.
Hunter, yeah, Monster Hunter is still very big in Japan. It's big
Wow.
everywhere now, but in Japan is always very big. And maybe the Wilds hype coming in, getting people excited to play more Monster Hunter. Number 6 is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I'm surprised about this, I guess. I know people like this game, but I don't remember people think it was amazing. But just those characters, I guess, are people love those characters. SpongeBob, Squidward, Tommy Pickles. I don't know who the hell's in this game. Chucky, I don't know. But yeah, people love it. Number 7, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Damn, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl beat The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. What a world.
That's a big surprise.
Only by one, but great game. Number 8 was Super Mario Party Jamboree. I've heard this is really good from Mike Huber, Mario Party expert. So I definitely need to try this sometime. Number 9 was Minecraft. Minecraft just kind of always doing really well forever. Also, just side note, it looked like Notch kind of like announced a spiritual successor to Minecraft. The creator of Minecraft, he's like going to be making a new game, I guess. And people want him to make a new Minecraft type of game, and he seemed to be okay with that. So get ready for that, I suppose. And number 10 is just normal Overcooked. Dude, Overcooked is just killing it in Japan right now on Switch. Everyone loves Overcooked.
That is so surprising. This game's
Yeah.
from 2017.
I don't know, man. Maybe there was like, it was really cheap or something for a little bit, or I don't know. But
Yeah,
people are loving. Yeah.
this list has some surprises in it, like seeing Clubhouse 51 still being listed. That's a game from 2020. Like, and it's a really cool game, but it's like seeing that and it's listed above Unicorn Overlord, which came out in 2024. Like, it's like, what? This old game is beating this one. All right.
Yeah, it is very funny.
There's not a lot of Switch games right now, so I guess people are just buying whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say that, and you're right, Gene, because I say that, but I just have bought, several 3DS games last year, buying, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Tales of the Abyss. Like, here I am going on a 3DS kick,
Mhm.
and I'm like, why are these people buying old games? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Dragon Quest 11S is number 29 on there. I don't see Tears of the Kingdom on here. Damn. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, though, is number 21. Mario Wonder 16. Mario Kart, of course, 13. Animal Crossing 12. Some of the big hitters just are always there. So, yeah, that's just kind of some of the Japanese numbers for the year of 2024. Just a brief little story right here as well. The Sonic live action movie franchise has surpassed $1 billion at the box office. Gene, I did see Sonic 3. So I'm all caught up on the Sonic movies. I went with my brother and his kids and his wife, and it was a good time. The kids enjoyed it a lot. The kids like Sonic nowadays. So I had to sit through with my nephew and niece playing Sonic a lot this break. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. But I had fun playing with a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I
even
play
bought,
Shadow Generations too.
I bought that. I haven't played really it yet, but I do own it now, so I'll
I
have to play it
played it.
sometime.
It's really good. It's
I
really,
know
really
that
good.
Maddie told me is awesome.
Really, really good. I have to say, we're not ready for the conversation, but Shadow Generations is as good as Astrobot.
Whoa, that's a bold claim.
We're not
I
ready for the
mean,
conversation, though.
I'm
People aren't
not
ready
ready
for
for
that
that,
conversation.
Gene. You got to
it'd
relax.
be great to hear it though, because somebody posted it was like a tier list of all the Sonic games like ever, right?
Hmm.
And someone was just like, I just can't believe there are this many when they are so regarded as shitty. So it would only be welcome for them to be better. I mean, like we saw with what was it, Sonic Frontiers was the one people really enjoyed recently.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's only good news if they actually are like, yes, we're gonna make good games and not
Yeah,
just gonna sell games
Yeah.
based on the name anymore.
Yeah, I'll scale
yeah,
that back. Shadow Generations is a much smaller game than Astrobot, so it does feel like it's harder to feel like it is better because Astrobot is just so much a more complete picture,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But there are certain levels and the platforming level design in Shadow Generations is excellent. Actually, excellent. I would say it matches what Astrobot does. And I do think that it does do a lot of things better than Astrobot, and especially in terms of actually creating a story around platforming levels.
Mm,
Uh, Astrobot really doesn't do that. Astrobot wants to delight you, you know.
yeah.
But Shadow Generations, they're actually trying to tell a narrative. They're actually trying to do character development, like as you're like speeding through these levels. And it's really, really good platform design, really, really good Sonic design. Um, in terms of how the levels just throw you forward, but not too fast.
Hmm.
It's a really good balance between momentum and careful platforming
Yeah.
and level design, and a lot of different lanes to go on to. So they really cooked with this one. This is one of the best Sonic levels they've ever made. Period.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Good to hear. Yeah, I'll have to try it sometime.
and the story's
Oh,
good too.
yeah.
Surprisingly, especially if you're on a shadow kick right now.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever thought a Sonic story was good, so that is interesting to me. So I will check. I'm curious about that.
Are you kidding me, Brad? We're going to get the Chaos Emeralds for the 50th fucking time, and you're telling me it's not good?
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it's like bad, but
No, they're
I just
bad.
don't
They're
give a
bad.
shit. They're probably pretty bad, yeah. I mean, I think Sonic's friends are pretty annoying, most of them, anyways. But
Yeah,
whatever.
but
You know,
this one is about like the retelling of Shadow's origin. Basically,
Yeah.
it helps to because Sonic Adventure 2 is the origin of Shadow, and it does have that funky presentation. So Shadow Generations is like a chance to like kind of like remake that, but not
Mm,
really remake that,
yeah,
But you
yeah.
can remake that story in a
Retelling, yeah,
way.
yeah.
does he
Cool.
still have a gun?
No,
No, they ditched the gun. Sadly.
That's the that honestly not disappointed because it never belonged, right? It was never correct to see a hedgehog with a gun. This just didn't feel right. Like
he
that
has
was
a gun in the
never
movie.
and it's weird. It's weird. It should be a blaster. It's what we discussed when Mario the Rabbids games were coming out, and it's like, how do we approach giving Mario some sort of gun? And it's like, well, you make it a little zip zappy blaster. And that's
Hmm.
totally okay, and that
Okay,
fits in
they
with
do something
Mario,
like that
right?
for the movie too, but
And
yeah,
that, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is like it literally was like, dude, like Shadow the Hedgehog should not just have like a Glock, okay? It just doesn't look right
Yeah.
for him to have like a real world pistol. This isn't right. It's just weird. You know, it just the tone of it was like, this is strange. Yeah, a blaster of some kind absolutely feels much better.
Yeah. Some sort of blaster. I'm just trying to see how much Shadow the Hedgehog is on eBay right now.
You could give him the fucking Needler from Halo, and that
Yeah.
would be more acceptable. Like literally just anything except giving him a fucking Desert Eagle. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Shadow's kind of expensive, depending on it for GameCube at least. $90, $100, $130. Damn.
100 with that I could buy a week's worth of groceries with that.
Yeah, imagine spending that on fucking Shadow the Hedgehog game.
No,
Holy shit.
the most I spent on one game I think was when I bought Tales of Hearts R, and I think that was like with shipping, I think I paid a total of like $103. 'Cause it was when the Vita games were like, "Hey, these are going away forever." And then
Yeah,
suddenly all of them jumped up in price and I was like, "This is my favorite Vita game. I have to own it."
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Okay, well, good for Sonic movie. I think they're going to do teasing a fourth one already and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure they'll keep it going because it's making money. And Jim Carrey seems to be down to keep being Robotnik. So it's cool with
I
me.
wonder how long we can keep this going though, because how many more stories of Sonic can we mine until?
Well, they're just going to introduce a new character in every movie, probably. So they'll eventually get to the Gator guy, and it's like, who is this? And no one's going to care. They'll do the Big the Cat coming in or some dumb shit.
I mean, Big the Cat's gonna be huge. I mean, literally, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and like think of the spin-off potential. So just like as an idea in the Sonic games where it lets you play as like the different crews, basically, where it's like, you're playing as like the alligator and his little gang. What if they just had a movie and Sonic's not even in it and it's like the other gang?
Well, they had the show. They had a Knuckles TV show.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
See, so the potential, they're already exploring these other avenues. I don't think there's an end in sight. This is like the new Marvel for kids. There's going to be 30 of these, all just different permutations of the characters available in that world. Is Rouge the Bat in it yet? Have they addressed how that's going to work?
No.
They got to do something about
that. There's a lot
of
characters they can do. Yeah, Silver. There's a lot they can do. They can have Sonic make out that human girl again, like 06. There's lots of stuff they could do.
These are things they're gonna have to fix. These are things they're gonna have to address. They definitely won't be the same as the games. Rouge cannot be serving like that in the movie. She can't.
She has to though.
Man, not the same degree.
I mean, I'm not saying I want to see that, but I'm saying it's like people are gonna get upset.
It's the art style. I mean, how realistic can you make it?
I'm terrified of them. They might like blow something up. You gotta be careful.
Sonic fans do make it not fun to talk about Sonic, honestly.
If they give Rouge the Bat a DEI chin, and then what happens?
No, I mean they don't do that. They're just actually really, really touchy about anything you say about Sonic.
Yeah. Gotta be careful.
In particular, I mean, there's this whole debate about the fucking Sonic movies ruining the character because I don't know. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I'm trying not to pay attention, but
it's just how can it be so serious? This is a game of a bunch of talking animals. All right,
they take it very, very seriously. They take it very, very seriously.
And that's like you gotta look at it at its base parts, man. Like not only is it just a game, it's a game about talking animals.
I got torn apart because I said I think it's funny that an orchestra would actually sit down and learn all the music for Sonic Unleashed.
It is funny.
And then they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Fucking Sonic Unleashed is amazing, whatever. I'm like, I didn't say Sonic Unleashed is a bad game at all, dude. I'm just saying that it's funny that a bunch of trained classical musicians sat down and learned the music of a video game where the hedgehog turns into the werehog, It
is dead ass funny. No, like,
it's funny.
Dude, literally, Colin was watching some sort of like orchestral performance of some Nintendo songs last night. It was just randomly recommended on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But it's like seeing these, Juilliard trained musicians playing fucking Mario music is funny. It doesn't mean that Mario music isn't well composed, but it's funny to be like, this man has a master's degree in trumpet and he's fucking blasting out Super Mario Sunshine tunes.
And it's funnier that it's Sonic Unleashed, At least Mario is like the classic Mario, Sonic Unleashed is like, that's niche, It's the one where Sonic the Hedgehog turns into a fucking werewolf hog,
It's bad. It's I remember that one. It's fucking bad. So yeah, it's really funny to think someone who dedicated their life to music is basically playing the only good part of the game.
Yeah. So I mean, it just, I love Sonic fans. I'm one myself, obviously, but like most things, you guys make it so hard to have fun talking about stuff. It's not just Sonic fans; it's every fans these days.
But fandoms are too crazy.
Yeah,
too crazy. I remember I saw people like fighting about Final Fantasy VII ships. I was like, what is happening, dude? What is going on here,
dude? You guys need to ready to like assassinate each other over Final Fantasy VII ships. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like you guys need to relax big time, okay?
It's really, really serious, and it's like also like Rebirth didn't even sell all that well, so it's like like you guys are taking this so seriously over a series that Square Enix themselves is having a hard time being excited over,
Oh, maybe they shouldn't have taken one game and made it 3 times as long.
That's honestly
Oh.
the issue. Honestly, I think the root of the problem with the Final Fantasy VII trilogy lies in that decision. They should have just made it one fucking game.
Or 2 parts at the most. Like, I can't understand how there's more. I watched Colin play through these, and I'm just like, and there's still another entire game just to cover the story of the original. I'm not saying it's not cool, the concept, and like, but dude, this feels nuts to take one game and break it into 3. This is the Hobbit movies, okay? You took one very short book and you made it into 3 very long movies.
That's kind of what it is. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
You put it very bluntly, and I never even thought about it that way. But that's. I mean, but people did say that about the trilogy when they announced it at first. They're like, "Oh, you're just stretching it out, whatever, like that." And then you play remake, and you're like, "Oh, that was good, though." But then after a while, upon reflection, like, yeah, this whole remake trilogy is getting old. It's getting old because we're getting old.
It's sick. I don't give a fuck. It's awesome.
It's
Keep
just
it going.
If
One
it was
more.
3, I mean, my thing is like, if it was like 3 30-hour games, then you'd be like, okay.
Well, you can make it 30
these
hours
are
like Gene did.
long ass games.
Yeah, you can make it 30 hours like I did.
Just mainline it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not gonna play it, honestly.
Oh, we
know that.
We know.
But it's just like, that's the biggest thing is like, dude, man, I watched Colin play all those mini games. It's like, just the mini games was like 5 hours worth of content. And then all the side quests for
the mini games are like 40 hours of content.
I didn't want to overstate. I'm being conservative, but then you have all your little
so many mini games.
Yeah, Chardley has all his side quests for you to do. It's
Chardley?
like endless. Chadwick's. Do you guys remember Chadwick's?
No.
Oh, it was a women's fashion catalog. Why would you know that unless like your grandma used to get them? We used to order clothes occasionally from this catalog called Chadwick's. I haven't thought about it in a very long time. I had this dope ass like khaki colored cardigan sweater that I absolutely adored until I outgrew it. And then, wow, it still exists. Oh my God.
Chadwick's? Oh, yeah.
It still exists. It's still all mom clothes. This is exactly
this
what
is all
it used to be.
moms, like 40-year-old moms, which is fine.
This is where we'd order church clothes from.
Oh, nice. Chadwick's. Hey, shout out Chadwick's.
Hell yeah. Shout out Chadwick's. I found out last night that Siegfried and Roy were both dead, and I had no idea. So this is the opposite of I thought Chadwick's was dead, and it's not.
Yeah, we're on the Chadwick's website. It's still going.
You're going to start getting Chadwick's ads now everywhere.
This is all like women's clothes, yeah. Like women's clothes, which is fine. Not for me, though. All right. Enough Chadwick's. What did you call him? Chardley?
Chardley what is this actually?
Chadley? Yeah.
Chadley. All right. Chadley.
It's really funny. Who the fuck is Chardley? Like,
I fucking hated him too. But I'm like, Colin, stop talking to him.
He's a talkative android. What are you gonna do? All right. Good news. A new Nier game tease, perhaps. In 4Gamer's annual end-of-the-year interview with Japanese game devs, Nier series producer Yosuke Saito said, this is via Gamatsu, this translation that I'm seeing right here. Ambitions for 2025. 2025, I'll quote, 2025 will be a milestone year as it marks the 15th anniversary of the Nier series. So I'd like to do something for it. What should we do? Maybe something with the next game or development related to that. I've been hearing the fans' expectations. It's a bit tricky though. That said, as I'll likely be doing less direct work as a producer, I'd appreciate it if you could patiently look forward to what's coming. I'm with Nier developers, anyone involved with Nier, I never know what to think whenever they say something because they could be trolling. I have no idea what they're saying. I have no idea if they're trustworthy whatsoever. But Nier series it's sold, I think, recently over 9 million, they said, or maybe that was just Automata doing 9 million. But it has a very dedicated fan base. Almost annoying fan base. So we're talking about Sonic fans. Nier fans, dude, watch out. Yeah. Relax, guys. I like Nier. Just calm down, okay? But Nier fan base is very aggressive in many ways as well. What's up with fan bases being so insane a lot of times? Just calm down, guys.
I'm,
It's
I'm
fine.
saying this with 100% love. We had an audience member who loved Nier so much that he sent many of us copies of it, whether we already owned the game or even
What?
wanted
Really?
it. And it was like, and I'm saying this with love, but it's like, brother, I still don't want to play the game. Like, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I did not like it.
Yeah. We appreciate the sentiment, but it's like, come on.
But he loved it so much. He was
I know.
passing them around
He wants
like
to share.
bonbons.
Yeah, he wants to share his love and hope someone else gets it. And I get that.
I get
yeah.
that, but that's a little much, you know.
But yeah, maybe a new Nier game. It's time for like the next big Nier game. I know they've had mobile games and we had Replicant and all that kind of stuff, but whatever the successor to Nier, Automata, however you want to say it, is going to be, it's about time. How long they've milked 2B into the ground. She's been in fucking everything. Let's get something.
I haven't even really played the Stellar Blade Nier collab.
Yeah, she's been in like
the outfit
2 fighting games.
Yeah, I got the outfit and then played around with it for a bit, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to play Stellar Blade again.
So yeah. But yeah, more Nier in the future, which is good. I'll definitely be checking that out whenever it comes out. All right, let's close the show with some questions from the audience. I post a thread every Sunday now calling for your submissions. So if you want to send in a question or submission, anything like that for the show for us to read, keep an eye out for that thread on patreon.com/laststandmedia. Okay. This is from I'm the Grubermeister, sorry. Hey, punchy peeps. Personally, one of my favorite aspects of Nintendo consoles are the weird, awful, or sometimes surprisingly wonderful first and third party accessories that get released. I think about the Game Boy with its light attachment, magnifying glass, and the printer. The N64 introduced Rumble Pack, microphones, and more. With the Switch run ending and a new Switch on the horizon, what Switch accessories have you enjoyed and / or hated the most? And what are you hoping to see return or be introduced for the new Switch? Happy New Year and keep up the great content. Man, the magnifying glass and the light combo on the Game Boy. I definitely had that in the back seat of the car. Stone Ages, man. Didn't even have a light on those things until the SP. Good Lord. We were struggling back then. But yeah, okay. So did you guys have any Switch attachments? Oh, Gene, you actually showed one during the show, I guess, that you had and you guys used.
Yeah, the Satisfy. Or not Satisfy. This is like Skull Candy or whatever.
Skull Candy, whatever. Grips for the Switch. Yeah, there's a couple things like that. I had Joy-Cons that had a D-pad on one of the Joy-Cons, which was great for playing like platformers and all that stuff on like handheld mode, because we got the little buttons on there still. And I think Switch 2 is going to have that as well. So I'm kind of annoyed, but you know, it is what it is. Micah, did you have any Switch accessories that you liked or hated?
I thought it was nearby, but it's not, because I just saw it, but I don't know where I ended up putting it. I also had one of those, it was the Hori brand, HORI, D-pad, like Joy-Cons, the left one, and it was like the translucent red plastic though, because I loved translucent technology as a 90s kid. That's like the peak, the pinnacle of human innovation. I also really liked the Hori Switch stand, so that you could put your Switch on the stand and then use the Pro controller. I used that a lot back when I would visit my parents like for a weekend, because it was just nice of like, they're watching Young Sheldon and I'm just going to hang out with them and play the Switch. But hey, I can use the Pro controller and not have to always have it in handheld mode. I don't use that as much these days. I don't know. I've just been very comfortable in handheld mode. I guess it depends on the game. There was something I was playing back then where the Pro controller was much appreciated, but I can't remember exactly why. I was like, I'd rather do this with the little stand than just play handheld. But it was a great stand. It had multiple points of adjustment, so you could have the angle just right depending on the light, so there wasn't like a glare. It was just a really great, solid accessory. I came across it the other day when I was going through some stuff, and I was like, oh, haven't had to use this in a while, but great little accessory. Same with the little D-pad controller. Not something I have actively needed, but still it worked well, and the design was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of hard to speculate about accessories for the next handheld or the next Switch, I should say, whatever it's going to be. I guess it's going to be very similar probably to what we have right now on Switch anyways. So probably some different grips and stuff like that and the D-pad stuff. So I'm sure we're going to see plenty right off the bat.
What I like, my biggest disappointment right now, I mentioned on Summon Sign, is that the Switch Lite, it is really hard to find a case that is Switch Lite sized. Like this case I have, this is a standard Switch case. What they did to make it compatible with Switch Lite was they changed the cutouts on the inside, because on my original Switch case, you actually can't fit the Switch Lite in it. The cutouts like don't line up, so it sits way too high and then you can't zip it shut. But I'm disappointed that you can't actually get like a smaller case. Obviously, for them, this is better because you're not going to have as many sitting on the shelf, right? It's just one SKU for both consoles. But as a consumer who wanted a smaller case for on-the-go gaming, that's like not ideal. I wish that I could get more variety in the Switch cases instead of being stuck with one that's the size of the traditional Switch.
Yeah, totally. Okay. This is from Stefan Street, ST, however you want to say it. Which Switch games are you holding back to play on Switch 2? I just started Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and it runs so poorly that I just can't. Same with Bayonetta 3. Yeah, Bayonetta 3 does not run good a lot of times. Great game, though, for the most part. Micah, any games you're holding back on playing?
Honestly, maybe I'll end up holding back on Kingdom Come Deliverance. We'll see. Realistically, there are several ports I avoided, such as Witcher 3 and like the Batman Arkham games, but I don't really plan on playing those on Switch 2 either. Like I've played the whole Arkham series. I don't really plan on revisiting it. So there are several ports I avoided. There's not really anything I'm specifically waiting for, but more so I'm hoping the next batch of ports that we get are, playable right out the gate. But Kingdom Come Deliverance is the only one that I might still be waiting for. I'm going to try it out and we'll see if it can actually run well.
Cool. Gene, anything for you?
Nope. Basically played every,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you'll put it up. You'll put up with anything. Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of games I'd like to revisit on the Switch too. But no, I'll play whatever they put out on the Switch. It's fine.
Yeah. One that comes to my mind right away is Xenoblade 3. I have it. I've played 1 and 2, but it's been so long. I'm like, I might as well just wait to see if they do anything with it. So I'm fine. I'm not itching to play it right now, so I'm just gonna wait. A lot of the Pikmin games too, I want to play. I've only ever played Pikmin 1 on GameCube when it came out. I think I played actually a little bit of 2, but I've never played 3 or 4, and I know you guys love 4, so I definitely want to visit those games. I hope they get some sort of bump. So I'm kind of just waiting because we're so close now for a lot of those first party games, because those games have like the highest chance, I feel like, first party games to get some sort of enhancement.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, that would be cool, because what we got on Switch was the Pikmin 1 and 2 collection, Pikmin 3, and then Pikmin 4. It would be awesome if they did either a full Pikmin collection of like 1 through 4 for the next Switch and just let you buy them all at once. But like, yeah, Pikmin 3 is my favorite out of all of them. They're all so good. They're all so fun.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, I know. It's so cool that Pikmin is like a big franchise now. Like people love Pikmin. So that's awesome. I'm trying to think if there's any other like Nintendo games that I need to play eventually off the top of my head. I can't think of anything. Nope. Sorry. All right. This is from Life Well Rested. Greetings, Fisters. I wrote in about this a few weeks ago and feel like it would be even better now that you guys are going weekly. Doing somewhat of a video game club for older Nintendo games. The first episode of the month could pick a game that the crew will play throughout the month, and the last episode do a small spoiler cast segment. I think this would be very fun for the crew to play games they missed over the years. Now, I'm not opposed to doing something like this occasionally. I don't think we should do this every single month, but if there's a game like we haven't played, or maybe one person hasn't played, I'd be down to like maybe play a game. like if Micah's gonna play like I don't know a Zelda game or like a short like a maybe Majora's Mask, maybe I'd play along with her or something like that. I'd be down for that. Or if I played maybe a Pikmin game, maybe you guys would play it. I think we could do something like that occasionally, but not every month. I don't think we should try to do that like that unless we have stuff lined up and we have the time. But I'm not opposed to this. A little book club thing for the viewers and listeners to also partake in could be fun. But I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know, Gene, is there a game that you would want to play specifically that you could think of?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I played so many of them, and if I haven't played them by now, like if I haven't played Fire Emblem by now, I'm not going to, you know.
Yeah. Well, even if like Micah's like, hey, I'm going to play, I don't know, Super Mario 3, for instance, like I've never played it. I'd be like, yeah, I'll play that along with you. That's not a long ass game. We could talk about that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. That's a short game for sure.
But yeah, probably like huge brick RPG games, probably not going to happen. But a game we could beat pretty smart. Like, hey, throwing this out there, not required though. I'm going to be playing Donkey Kong Country Returns. That's happening.
You know I'm not good enough for that, Brad.
Ugh.
You know I can't hack it.
Now's the time. You're breaking out of your comfort zone, Micah. You're growing.
But it's still the skills. It's a matter of skill, Brad.
You got the
like,
skill.
Like I do. I'm really enjoying checking out Nintendo Switch Online. Before I started Fire Emblem, I was deciding between that or Golden Sun, which I've also never played.
Yeah, me too.
There's just a ton of games in there that I want to get to. But yeah, like I love the idea from the listener, but it's true that we all play fairly long games. So no, it's probably not a good idea to be like, we're all gonna play Golden Sun and talk about it at the end of the month. Unless it's like, hey, it's summer and nothing's coming out. Maybe the three of us could say, okay, we're going to do a little spoiler cast on Majora's Mask because I'm finally going to play it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it would be tricky to have us all coordinate on something to play, especially when Gene reviews games and has deadlines for himself to meet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I do like the idea, but maybe we could tailor it to, okay, yeah, have you guys played this? We'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, Micah, when you do play Majora's Mask, like I can talk to you, like I know that game pretty well, so I could talk to you about spoilers and everything. Like we could do a mini spoiler cast for that game whenever you finish it. So maybe we'll do something like that. All right, cool. All right, this is from John Davis. Other than the new 3D Mario game, do you think any other first-party games will be, or do you think any other first-party games will be on launch day for Switch 2? Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be multiple first-party games. Probably 3, I'm going to guess, right off the bat. Because we had 1-2 Switch right away. Then we had ARMS right away. So, yeah, we're definitely on Mario. I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a launch game as well, I'm guessing. It's going to be something else for sure. There's going to be some gimmick game, definitely. Snipper Clips 2, I hope. Please. That's our first party, but give me that Snipper Clips 2. Sorry, Micah. Give me Snipper Clips 2. I want that. Anything else that you can think of first party that maybe could be a Switch 2 launch game?
It's hard to guess specific titles. Yeah. I always say it. It's been a long time since we've gotten a Yoshi game.
Yeah, so it's time for the Dino.
I think that would be a good launch window game. I agree. Like we're definitely getting more than one, just given this delay situation. Yeah. There's no way we delayed the Switch 2 and then it's also going to launch with one first party game. No way. They'd be out of their shorts to do that. That'd be nuts.
Yeah. Okay. This is from Dio Lixon. What's up, Ring Fisters? It's time to address the Sonic question. Sacred is anti-Sonic, and the Dukes are pro-Sonic. Where does the punching up crew land? I hadn't touched a Sonic game for close to 2 decades until this Christmas, and I hate to admit, the blue blur is back. For Frontiers and Shadow game generations, I feel he's back at the top of his gaming Hall of Fame. Will you let him into your hearts?
I've been pro Sonic this whole time.
Yeah, Gene's always been pro Sonic.
Yeah, unironically pro Sonic the whole time.
I'm more like I'm more neutral positive, I would say, to Sonic. I think a lot of it sucks, but there is some really good Sonic stuff, and Sonic's been on a good roll recently with games.
Yeah,
so he is definitely on the upswing.
And to the credit of the Sacred Symbols crew, at least Colin has acknowledged, know, that you have to admit that we are in a Sonic renaissance. You know.
Yeah. We are.
It really is only Chris that seems to be just sticking by his ray guns, but to insist that Sonic is not good. But
Yeah.
you know, Colin won't engage with Sonic, but at least you got to acknowledge that this is a Sonic Renaissance right now.
Yeah. And Colin's afraid of Sonic, so that makes sense. And of the fans, for good reason. Micah, where do you stand on the Sonic front? Where do you stand in the Sonic Wars? Which team are you on?
I have nostalgia for Sonic because I did enjoy the adventure game on GameCube, but otherwise, no, I don't have a great love for Sonic. I don't have hate for Sonic either, though. I would put myself as the extremely casual Sonic enjoyer because I did really love that GameCube game. But and I loved like random shit like Sega Superstar Tennis that would have like Sonic characters.
Yeah.
So I don't have any hate. I just admit that the games are often not well made and not worth my money. But I'm a casual, extremely casual Sonic enjoyer. Not gonna go see the movies though, because I'm not 10.
Right. I think like a lot of the Wii PS3 era games kind of soured me. There's some decent stuff there, like Secret Rings or something, but there's like Black Knight, Sonic 06, stuff like that, just max stanky on it. The Sonic Brotherhood RPG is just like
Sonic. Was it Sonic Boom? Rise of Lyric, like famously broken game. Famously broken.
Yeah, I have it on Wii U.
It's awful.
Yeah, I'm sure it's awful. I need to play it someday. I need to do like a Sonic deep dive and play a lot of these games I haven't played before. Just see. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like even Frontiers, I had a lot of fun in that game. Horrible boss fights I remember in that game. Good Lord. Trash. All right. Final write-in is from Haru Discourse. Hey, Punchers. Everyone is looking ahead to the Switch 2, but is there anything that already came out for Switch 1 that you're looking forward to playing this year? I started Mario & Luigi Brothership this week, and I'm having a good time with it so far. Keep up the awesome work. All right, any Switch games that are out or Switch 1 that we're thinking of playing this year? Like, I'm obviously going to play Donkey Kong that's coming out this month. No questions. But stuff I haven't played before, I don't really know. Like, Brothership looks all right, but I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice other games to play that one first. Anything, Micah, that you're thinking about playing, though?
Yeah, I have a couple games in the backlog that I plan to get to this year. One of them being Dragon Quest Builders 2, which yeah. I got that like as a buy two get one free from Target and just didn't get around to it. So I'm gonna check that out. I do have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I have been playing one Xenoblade game per year, basically. So I'm torn on, do I play X when it comes out or do I play 3 like on my schedule? Because I kind of only want to play one per year. They're big games.
Yeah,
they're real big games. Maybe I'd play them both. But I have a couple visual novels as well that I own for Switch because I just love when they do physical releases of visual novels and it's hard to resist buying them. So I still have a couple Switch titles that I want to get around to, but Dragon Quest Builders 2 is a major one. And of course, like I said, I just bought Kingdom Come Deliverance. Gonna check that out on Switch, see how she fares, see if she's seaworthy. And if not, we'll bring it over the other one, hopefully. But yeah, there's a couple things that I still have to get to.
Cool. Gene, anything you can think of off the top of your head? Any Switch games out right now that you're like, I'm gonna play this year?
No, not really.
Nothing really?
Okay. I feel like I played almost every single one that I want to.
Yeah. And, you do. I mean, you're playing Kiwami for God's sake.
I mean, for fuck's sake, I played Yakuza Kiwami on the Switch.
Again. Gee, how do you do it, man?
I've already played it before, but
I don't have it.
I will have to add though, the Yakuza Kiwami support for the Switch technically is the most complete version of Yakuza Kiwami right now.
Of course it is.
Because they actually relicensed the old Japanese songs from the original 2005 game.
Oh, that's cool.
The only game that with the original music from 2005 now.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's maddening. Like you realize that's absurd. I forgot Balatro. I did buy that for Switch.
Oh, Balatro, yeah.
I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But Gene, that's absurd. Like you didn't do this for that's nuts. Like Switch.
It's crazy. So sometimes the Switch will just get the best versions of a certain game. The Switch still has the best version of Devil May Cry 3, period. The Switch has still has the best version of well, it did have the best version of Dragon Quest XI, right?
I did,
Until it came into other platforms, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Dragon Quest 11S.
And meanwhile, like Octopath Traveler 2, I didn't know until I watched Colin play it on PlayStation that like, oh, you have like this really pretty map with this like sparkly glitter layer, and like on Switch it just isn't there. You know, it's like we get the like that was like the fucking frog version of the game.
I wonder if they got the Japanese licenses for the Yakuza songs, because you know they're counting on the Yakuza version of Switch to sell really well in Japan. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude!
They had a whole marketing push. They had a whole commercial with one of the famous Yakuza actors, where he's coming home like after a hard day of Yakuzaing. You know, the ad seems to imply that he used to be Yakuza, but now he's like a regular salary man, and he's got a kid now. But then he comes home to see his kid playing Yakuza, and he gets fired up again. He's like, "Yeah, this is how it used to be." You know, really, really fun commercial. You guys should go watch it.
That's cool.
No, that sounds awesome. If they had done like, imagine if they did a Switch Lite with like one of the dragon tattoos on the back, right?
Oh man,
that would have been awesome. Or yeah, like
I would buy this shit. I would have a 7 Switch. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Or you had a choice between the koi fish or the dragon, right? Like that would have been.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea. God damn it, man.
I'd give them all these ideas for free if they would only use them.
Even if it was just a dog that had a dragon koi, yeah.
Hell
you can imagine if like they named announced like a dragon Yakuza, and there's a special Ichiban koi fish tattoo version of it.
Exactly.
So if the Switch 2, I buy that shit up super quick. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'd buy 6 of them.
6.
But yeah, go watch that commercial of Yakuza on Switch. It's very wholesome. It's fun. It's funny because they're still trying to do the whole family aspect of it, but it's just like dudes and like a Yakuza guy with his kid. You know, really funny stuff.
It's funny. Yeah, I'll watch that after this. All right, with that, another episode in the bag. Micah, Gene, thank you guys for joining me. If you guys didn't hear for some reason, yes, we're going to be weekly now, so we'll be back next week. Switch every week, Switch news every week, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, before we go, any final thoughts or anything you guys want to say, or should we just get the hell out of here?
Yeah, I know I said I don't like talking about Switch 2 leaks, but I'll do it for the show because so rest assured, don't worry, I'll keep doing it for the show. But I just won't do it in my articles and stuff like that because So someone the other said it says it feels like game journalism is just like whatever we heard on Twitter, and then we just publish it.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed out that Gene never does that, and it's like, I never do. I'll never do it. I refuse to make Twitter like my editor.
Yeah, for sure.
All
right,
that's about it though. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. It's gonna be a good year.
This is your last chance to say it. It is the 7th. All right, we're 1 week in. I'm declaring it. This is your last Happy New Year's day. You gotta hit up everybody you haven't talked to yet. You don't get any more after this.
Yeah. All right, get those out if you got to do it. Well, by the time you hear this, it's over. So sorry.
It's already over.
Yeah, it's over. You missed the boat. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next episode. Take care and goodbye. Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Bradley Ellis. My co-hosts are Gene Park and Micah Moriarty. The show is edited and produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Punching Up, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we're grateful for your kind contributions and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.